All right. What up, what up, what up, what up? Much peace, everybody. Hope you're all doing good. Now, Sunray here, aka Armandale Smoke Sign. I just came across this interview, Dr. Umar Johnson going into the Breakfast Club. This thing has been around for a week or so, but didn't click on it. But actually, it sparked the question, and really kind of just got me inspired to do this stream. As I was listening to the first partial bit, and he was saying, like the establishment of his school, it still hasn't been done yet, and he hasn't achieved this status to get his, school up and running. Which made me think, in the time that I've been online, I've come across the, wonderful institute, or the inspirational place, pioneering education, place of education, which is the XyayX Institute, run by QueButter and his associates now, and the people involved with that now. That's something which is, it's been up and running. It was able to run through last year and the current, the stresses of the pandemic, and it's, still running, progressing, getting bigger, thankfully, spreading worldwide online. And it just, basically just wanted me to get up here and talk about it, but I'll play this first few minutes. It takes a few minutes for him to get to the point, but I think he speaks on it. But then once he gets to the point, I'll stop it. If you would like to leave your comment or get up and have your opinion, you're most more than welcome. So just without further ado, I'll play.
Dr. Umar, you've become one of the internet's favorite people to me, man. I love it personally. I love it. What do you think of it?
I don't know. On one hand, I appreciate the circulation of the message.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I think sometimes they go too far to where they're trivializing a very serious message.
Talk to me.
So okay. I don't want people to.
All right, not to interrupt, but that was one great fact. It is a very, very important message that needs to get out there. But, why isn't it established? Why isn't it out there? Why isn't this curriculum running yet? But let him speak, and it's going to take a few minutes.
Lose the centrality and the importance of my main message, which is the liberation of our people.
Absolutely.
And coming from a school psychologist perspective, the need for us to make sure we're saving our boys from that school to prison pipeline.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes that can get lost in all of the humor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not against it, but I wish it was a little bit more balanced to it. But at the same time, I can't complain because it has helped bring a lot more people to the message, and it has helped me save a lot more parents.
Absolutely. How has the pandemic affected you just overall?
When the pandemic hit, I had just began a national Black parent boot camp training tour. So what we do is I go to every state and I do a 12-hour seminar. So this is from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. That's why we call it a boot camp. And in those 12 hours, I teach Black parents everything they need to know in order to protect their child. So each of those 12 hours is spent on a different topic. So we just did one last weekend in Boston. So we're going over all the disabilities, the IEP, how to conduct yourself at a meeting, autism, how to write the letters, how to deal with behavior, how to review the psychological evaluation, how to review the IEP. And so I give them everything that I think a parent needs to know to effectively advocate for their child in the school meeting. And when the pandemic hit, we had just finished the California training in Long Beach, and then we were shut down. And I hadn't done a training since March the 6th of 2020 until I done it last Saturday in Boston.
Wow.
So it's been 13 months.
Wow.
And now? Last time you were up here, we were talking about your school and the school that you opened. What's
FDMG Academy,
the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. It's a bittersweet report, brothers, because let me make it real simple so y'all can understand this. We have two schools, right? They look across the street at one another. The Marcus Garvey building is the elementary school, and the Frederick Douglass building is much larger. It's the high school. Now, we're focusing on the Garvey building right now, right? If you were to say, how soon can that building be ready? It can be ready in 3 weeks. We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric, 3 weeks worth of plumbing. So if, hypothetically speaking, if a black tradesman, a black HVACer said, I'm going to come volunteer, I'm going to fix the system, you have to pay for all of the materials, but I'm going to donate my time. If an electrician, if a plumber said, we're going to donate our time to fix the system, but you have to pay for all the material, the school would be up and running in 3 weeks. That's all we have. The problem is, Charlemagne and Envy, is I haven't come across black folks who are willing to donate their time. That's one. So we have to raise enough money to pay market rate for those repairs. So the HVAC, the bills that I'm getting are ranging from $250 on up. The plumbing, the bills I'm getting are ranging from like $150 on up. You see, so we have to raise about $300,000 just to handle that. Where if we had some black folk who was willing to donate their time, the school would be up and running in 3 weeks.
I wonder if people, if they change.
All right, so he's just explained 3 weeks. It'd take the $300,000 in maintenance costs or stuff like that. Like, I mean, he's obviously got the 12 hours spent with parents, with the supposed curriculum and thoughts on how to advise the child to reach the potential and be in its prime in this current system. I mean, that money, even in itself, you think the 300,000 would go somewhat, it's definitely a very expensive thing to educate, especially the masses. The more you get, and to be up to date with the current technology and facilities, but I'm sure that the money would be sufficient to educate a good number of students and to get them, of the youth, and to get them primed in position to start developing their mind and developing a sense of self and establishment of, a proud, positive, how could I say, self-aware, communal and place of education and inspiration and creativity. So, I mean, he got to the point there, I guess, the beginning bit was, like Envy proposed that question there, and then he explained himself, but it's kind of like, I keep hearing this, I've heard this, and that's why I've inspired me to do this. I've been on here for a couple of years, and it seems that he just it's a continuation of, he's not putting the foot in the right direction, where, the time that he's spending with the parents, trying to inspire them with his agenda and his mindset and his, as he just said, his way of thinking, his opinion on what it would be ideal, which is in itself ideally, because every individual case needs to be treated on its merit, I guess. But, you would have to, you can't, there's not one so it's one size shoe fits all or something like that, or, there's definitely a standard of learning to be achieved that are desired. It can be reached on a scale, but then, to get them to that point, some students, parents are in different situations. Some living far away from the school. Some may not be able to afford books. Some might be with siblings. Some might not have the time. Or, all different situations. But, it just made me think. Like, XyayX Institute, shout out to QueButter and all involved with that school. And major shout out to all the youth who are enrolled at that school. May you all achieve your potential and progress and just prosper, be creative, be just triggered it, because even that's all that amount of time, that amount of money over these years, it all adds up. So which way is it moving? QueButter's established this thing. And obviously I don't know him personally. I just see from my observations, and it's he's got time to run school, facilitate classes, lecture classes, run online streams, and also run a studio or maybe 2 studios, recording audio from artists in the industry, or from like just aspiring artists or established artists. Completely different to the upliftment of Black youth, to educate them in the XyayX STEM system of education and the curriculum. But still, still power to it. It's growing, it's getting bigger, it's getting better, and it will continue to do so. But unfortunately, it seems like bigger corporations, bigger entities, or more known, I guess, entities, being amplified in this social media and media stream, are unable to complete such tasks, even over years. I've been seeing that for maybe 3 to 4 years, the similar comments of the Marcus Garvey School and his schools to be developed, and he's telling me now he's saying 3 weeks it would take if he just had people time to donate their time. But I mean, well, wouldn't one of those maintenance checks of 300,000 pay? Not even that. That's just something thinking about it. But obviously, you could sit down and I'm not sure. I don't have the answer for it. Obviously, there is an answer to it, and it can be done because it's proven and it's in play now with the XyayX Institute. So, with that being said, all power to that. Be one, as you know, and it's just crazy, man. Let's just see what happens, but we'll see if I'm here back next year asking the same question. But it could be a likely occurrence, or whichever way it will be. But I'm sure I'll be still flowing out, trying to get bigger and better, trying to prosper, doing my thing, getting in the right way, being harmonious with the earth, living in tune with the culture, with myself, and trying to surround myself with like minds. And just, living to your potential, reaching your goals, and always staying aspirational and trying to ascend, even in the times of, which may be slower moments, which may seem not as momentive, or which may not see as much momentum. But either way, then said that, leave your comment if you have any ideas or opinions about this subject. Do that. Do what it is. Check out XyayX, the XyayX Institute, and stay peace, stay with the high grade always.